finally arrived and... Great.
Oh, I got a letter here for new job applications at Wally's, and they are inviting me to have a look. I mean, really? I quit my job there for a reason, and now they just want me back? Crazy. Hey, buddy, you heard that? Wally's wants me back.
燃やしても構わない。
Like, actually, really though, who would be crazy enough to go back to a workplace they just absolutely despise or just did not like? Reminds me of like Bendy and the Ink Machine. Well, since you're here, why don't we talk about it? Bendy and the Ink Machine is a mascot horror game that is chapter-based. It was made and released by Joey Drew Studios, with the first chapter being released in 2017 and the last chapter, chapter 5, in 2018. And honestly, at the time it was quite unique in the mascot horror scene, and it had a lot of promise. With emphasis on the had, well, at least in my opinion. I was there for the very first release of Bendy, all the way back when it was on Game Jolt, yeah. And sure, it was basic and simple. It was literally just a single fetch quest with a chase at the end. But I liked it for its simplistic nature, and honestly, it had an incredible art style that stood out from the rest. So, I started to follow all the teasers and trailers for the game. I played all chapters on release, and chapter 2 was honestly a good improvement from the first chapter. Sure, the beginning is kind of sluggish and the combat is, well, it's not really there at all. They tried. But I do like it a lot better, and it is my favorite chapter in the entire game. With, sure, still some fetch quest sort of missions, but they also include some more unique puzzle elements to it that just make the chapter a lot more fun. But then, chapter 3 was released, and it's not good. Sure, visually there were upgrades and the animations were really nice, but the entire chapter consisted of only fetch quests. When this chapter first released, it was a constant slog of going up and down, finding just random things over this absolutely gigantic map. Sure, in future updates it was improved, but it's still extremely tedious and boring, and in the end, you do it for absolutely nothing because you just keep falling down with the elevator, which, why didn't you just use it to go down further if you were gonna end up going down? And after chapter 3, of course, came chapter 4. And sure, the structure of this chapter is actually pretty good, and it did have some very good moments. It's still just mostly fetch quests. And there was another problem that started to crawl up with this chapter. The bugs. When chapter 4 released, it was filled to the brim with them, and some parts were just barely playable because of it, and it just brought the experience down. And for me, worst of all, chapter 4, when I played it on release, is when I came across the save glitch. It's still not fixed to this day, and the moment you come across it, you cannot close the game or you lose basically all your progress. It's bad. And chapter 5 wasn't any better. In fact, I lost all my progress when I installed it back in 2018, so I had to play all the way from chapter 1 to chapter 5 again. Yeah, real fun. And as for it being the final chapter, the ending is just underwhelming, and it left an extremely sour taste in my mouth. And that was my personal journey with Bendy. And I think the saddest thing of all is that this game had so much going for it, with the fantastic art style that only kept improving with each chapter release, the extremely neat and cool concepts with its characters and stories, and the fact that with each chapter release, they went back and updated older chapters to keep them up to date with the other ones. They really poured a lot of love into it, but not enough. And the end result is just disappointing. As a full game, it's sluggish and boring at its worst, and at best it's just mildly entertaining. It's not even scary for a horror game. That's the biggest insult, I guess. And that was Bendy and the Ink Machine. Yeah, to me it's just very disappointing. And all the love I had for it is left way back in 2017. But that's for Bendy and the Ink Machine. It has a sequel game, The Dark Revival, and there are more games that were announced. And they are an improvement. And they look darker, scarier, grittier, like actual horror games. And I am excited for the future of Bendy. There is light at the end of the tunnel. But yeah, I don't want to experience Bendy and the Ink Machine again, specifically that one. And also, I don't want to experience Wally's Burger Paradise again. I mean, like, really? Wanting me back? I think I'm just gonna burn this piece of paper, just like I did with my contract. Application meeting.